Greetings, mortals. Come with me into the depths of the darkest dungeon. G'day everybody and welcome to this week's video where we travel into the depths of the darkest dungeon. A currently early access game on Steam. To say the least of this game would be to call it a roguelike RPG. To say the most of it, however, is a brutal RPG that's not going to hold your hand. It's going to throw you down, it's going to kick you while you're down, keep kicking you, setting you on fire, and it'll laugh while it drives away. It really hurts. But enough about my personal experience with the game. Let's start from the beginning. This is the first message you'll see. This is a foreboding message telling you that every action you take in this game is going to stick with you. Every move you make and every step you take, this game will be auto-saving you. If one of your heroes dies halfway through a battle, force quitting the game isn't going to save him. Load up the game again, you'll be in the same battle, the hero's dead. Say goodbye to all that time you spent training him. Once you're ready, begin your game! You will start with your carriage crashing on the way to Hamlet. Your role in this game is that of a tactician. While you don't personally take place in the battles themselves, it is your job to help lead the heroes to victory. You'll begin the game with a crusader and a highwayman. Getting simplistic, it's a knight and a roguelike character. Make your way through the first little set of dungeons, moving from room to room, fighting any monsters that get in your way. At the end of it, you will come to the town of Hamlet. Now that we've made it to Hamlet, we'll go through a little bit of a backstory. You, the tactician of the group, are heir to the family that used to preside on the castle on top of the hill of Hamlet. The previous tenants thought it would be a fantastic idea to start digging under the castle in search of ancient powers, because that's always worked for everyone beforehand and it's totally not cliche. It is your job, your responsibility as heir to the family to travel into the dungeon and right the mistakes that they have made. And welcome to the town of Hamlet. This is your mission hub. From here you can recruit new heroes, upgrade their weapons, armor and skills. You can also give them tasks to do around town, take the stress away from dungeon crawling. We'll touch on that a little bit later on, but for now, you'll get 2 new characters from the carriage that comes into town, and then you have to go on to your next tutorial mission. Quick tip! After all the tutorial is done, and you get to recruit new characters through the carriage, take a look at them. Take a proper look at them. Don't just pull them over onto your roster just because they're there. Right click on the character and you'll bring up their character page. It'll show you all the good stuff and all the bad stuff, all the stats, resists, and most importantly, their personalities. Some might be alcoholics, others might have more resistance to bleeding and blight, all that other stuff that you can have to deal with in the dungeons. And just pay attention, you might not want one because of a certain trait that they carry with them. And moving on from Hamlet, we have the estate map. Now the estate map works as a mission hub of sorts. You get to pick the area of the estate in which you want to explore, go on quests, fulfill duties, all that good stuff. At time of recording, the darkest dungeon itself isn't playable. It appears to be more of the endgame stuff, but at the moment, with the amount of stuff that's on offer, I can't really complain about it. With that, pick your quest, pick your heroes, move on to the provision screen. Here you'll be able to buy supplies for the quest that you're about to embark on. You get a choice of a few certain things like torches to light up the dungeons, bandages, potions, shovels. There's a lot going on in this game. You're going to be thrown headfirst into it. And going headfirst into it, let's talk about the heroes. Because in all seriousness, the heroes that you recruit are the most turbulent, random, frustrating, enjoyable part of the game. Well, I can call them heroes at the end of the day. They are people. They all have different personalities, likes, dislikes, different attributes that keep everything interesting. First things first, they're the realist. You see this? Below your hero's health bar. That's not mana. It's not experience. It's their stress level. Anything and everything in this game is going to affect your hero's stress level. If it starts getting darker in the dungeon because you forgot to light another torch, they'll start getting stressed out. Resting in a campfire will help their stress levels out. There's all a give and take sort of thing. If you take a critical hit in battle, you'll get stressed out. If you give one out though, you'll take stress away from your hero, plus the heroes around you as well. I cannot understate how much I enjoy this mechanic. As annoying as it may get sometimes, it gives you a level of understanding and fleshes out some of your heroes. They might not have a massive backstory or any at all, but it helps give them just something that makes them unique from every other character of the same class. And with the stress mechanic comes the affliction system. This can be make or break for your characters, for once they reach 100 points of stress, they will become afflicted. They will crumble under the stress that they're feeling. They can become irrational, fearful, paranoid, a few other options that are out there. This can be terrifying in the midst of battle. They can change for the worst. They might skip a turn. They could steal loot that you find travelling around. They can purposely throw themselves in harm's way or refuse any medical treatment at all. But with the bad comes the good. If they don't crumble under the stress, they'll mount on top of it and become the better for it. A crusader might start buffing his teammates on the start of every one of his turns, while another character might start shouting out a war cry, reducing stress of every other character that's fighting alongside you. Keep in mind with the affliction system that while some characters may become heroic, that will end at the end of the dungeon. While other characters, when they crumble under the stress, that will stay with them even afterwards. You'll have to leave them in Hamlet to relax for a little bit, get over what they're feeling. You can do that either at the pub or at the church. Some characters may choose one way or the other, and some may not be able to do something. For instance, one character may always want to stay at the church and pray, while another character may be an alcoholic. Be careful with some of the things you let them do. An alcoholic may go on a drinking binge and disappear for a week or two. You might spend a bit of your money as well. Now you may be wondering about character level by now. There are no traditional character levels in this per se, that give you extra stats every time you level up. If you want stat increases, you get them through skill upgrades, weapon and armor upgrades through Hamlet. What you have in place of that though is your character's resolve level. Now what this means is that each individual hero has their own resolve level, and that does two things. Firstly, as they travel through dungeons, they'll feel less stress, they'll be more used to it, they have better resolve. Secondly, it makes them arrogant little bastards. Now what I mean by that is that they have an ego trip after that. Sure, they might handle stress better on and be up for high level quests, but when you try and get a level 3 resolve character to do a level 1 quest, they will blatantly refuse to. They will not be part of that party. How dare you? Try and make them do something so beneath them, so mundane, you should feel ashamed of yourself. Alright, that is your basic info for Darkest Dungeon. Now, onto some tips. Tip 1. Torches and food. Hoard them. On any dungeon, say level 2 or higher, I'll pack about 18 rations of food and 12 torches. It won't be pointed out to you actually need it, but your characters get hungry as they travel through the dungeon. If this happens and they get starving and you don't have food on hand, they will take a large chunk of health off you. Also, don't bring food thinking it's going to keep everyone's HP up. That's not how it works. Every time you heal with food, you only get about 1 or 2 points back. Torches. Now, the current speed of which the dungeons get darker is a bit fast. The darker it is, the more it favours the enemy and not yourself. Keep it lit up. Red Hook Studios, if you're watching this, please tweak the setting just a touch. I love it, but the decay is just a little bit too fast at the moment. Tip 2. Try to have at least 2 healers in your roster, and rotate accordingly. Having just one hero at the back throwing out heals and ignoring giving out damage will help in the long run. Having 2 in the roster will help when one stresses out and needs to spend time in Hamlet recovering. Also, it's handy to have 2 hard levels in case one dies, you still have a backup. Tip 3. Keep things varied. At the moment there are about 10 classes in the game that you can choose from. They all have different strengths and quirks to them. They also have different skills that they can match with others. Mix, match, have some fun with it, experiment. Tip 4. As stated previously, when selecting new heroes, just right click on them, check all their stats and everything else. Also check their quirks. Try and find some characters that have stress resistance. It helps keeping them unafflicted for as long as possible. Tip 5. Death. While permanent in this game, there is something to help even it out. When your character hits 0, it's not instant death in this. You fall on death's door. What that means is they might be able to take 1 or 2 more hits before they actually die. It gives you a chance to heal them. Even if it's just giving them a ration of food to get 1 health point, that can be the difference between saving them and losing them for good. Tip 6. When taking on a quest to kill the Wizened Hag, I suggest only taking characters who you think have a decent amount of strength enough to fulfill the job, and also you don't mind them dying on you. The mechanics for this fight boil down to this. She will throw one of your party members into a cauldron and start cooking them. You can start smacking the cauldron to try and get them out, but your best bet is just to rush the hag and kill her as quickly as possible. In this fight, I lost 3 out of the 4 team members, because I tried to get them out of the cauldron instead of trying to take her down first. Tip 7. Well, not actually a tip, a suggestion to Red Hook Studios. Please, put a Wandering Samurai class in this game, just for me. I'd love it. Something like low dodge chance, but he can counter enemy strikes on random chance or something like that. It'd be fun, I'd love it. Please, put one in. Please, please, for me. And with that, we are done for the day. Thanks for watching if you made it this far. If you liked the video, hit the like. If you dislike, hit dislike. Don't forget to subscribe. I will be back next week. All the links for everything good will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again later.